For me, I can just tell you what I think, but hey, what does Zoe know? You know what I mean? So,
Hey, how's everybody doing today? You are tuned into another episode of What Does Zoe Know? And today we have our guest here. We got TJ here, just hanging out with me today. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing today,
All
brother?
right, all right, all right.
Good, good.
Hey, man, I just wanted to get into a conversation that you and I and a couple of our group participants that we were in. We brought up a subject. Actually, you did. You brought up a particular subject. You mind sharing what the subject was?
Well, the subject was is the grass greener on the other side?
Ooh.
You know, and it comes up mostly when a male and a female are engaged in a relationship, and the
Mm-hmm.
relationship goes bad.
Mm.
And so, at the end of that relationship, where you're still sticking in there, but you know it's over, one of the either the female or the male engages in a psychological warfare
Ooh. Ooh. With themselves or with the partner?
with the partner.
Okay. 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 Now, if when you say the relationship is over at that point, you're saying we start to consider if the grass is green on the other side if we think the relationship that we're in is over.
Well, technically, the relationship is still ongoing, but it's dead. And
Ooh.
so one of the either the male or the female would say, make a statement such as, well, there's no one else for you. You're never going to find another person like me. And so
Ooh.
they engage in this psychological warfare to
Ooh.
kind of
Ooh.
play a mental game with
Make
the
you
other
stay in that
person
dead grass,
to
huh?
make you stay in that dead grass.
Ooh.
And you'll spend another year, 2 years, 3 years with that person because you're afraid to move on.
Ooh. I got it.
Yeah.
Now, could the grass be dead because just like if we're talking about the analogy of grass, meaning another relationship or the one that you're in, when is that is something that could be attributed to that is that you are in the house and you're not watering your grass, you're not cutting your grass, you're not fertilizing your grass, and we're using grass to be either the male or the female portion of the relationship.
Well, it could be a number of things, and relationships are they're very complicated, and it could be what
Man,
you
it ain't
said.
it, it ain't that damn complicated. Not for men anyway. Shit, I mean,
Yeah,
you satisfy us physically, you feed our belly, and you say our jokes are funny.
right, exactly. I agree. But when you get into the relationship, you start to realize things that you didn't realize when he was dating you. For
Mm.
instance, you didn't realize he doesn't know how to fix nothing, or you come through some suspicion that he may be cheating, and you go through his phone and you realize, yeah, he is cheating.
Mm.
And so at some point you realize, you know what, I need to start making future plans because this guy's not the guy for me.
But can you fix them?
You probably can fix them, and it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of work and dedication to it, and both guys, both male and female, has to be dedicated to that cause.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of fixing stuff. I mean, I fix things, people. Uh,
Fix people.
I'm all about trying to fix something. If I see something's wrong, and especially if someone voices that something's wrong, my mind starts to go into how can we make it to where you don't need to say that anymore. That we can get that resolved. And a lot of times I'm finding with especially with females, they a lot of times they're not in the fix it mode. They're just in the broadcast mode. Like I'm just telling you what the problem is. I'm not really interested in fixing it. I just want to say that there's an issue, and then the next time you talk to them, they're talking about the same issue, when it could have been fixed, but it doesn't seem to be a desire per se because a lot of times when it comes to fixing something, that entails some type of effort. Someone has to do something.
That's very true. And a female mind is it's a very repetitive mind, where a male
Mm,
just likes to get straight to the point, and it makes sense of. We'll say one thing one time.
he said that.
We'll say one thing one time, and we got it. But a female has to say it over and over and over again.
You talk about the phenomenon of nagging?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
I'm gonna say that shit's
But in
nagging.
her mind,
They're
she has to
nagging.
be repetitive because maybe she thinks we're not listening or we're not getting it because we're not being as verbal and responsive to her.
So if she keeps saying it, then eventually we'll do it or fix whatever she's saying.
Yeah, yeah, she's gonna keep hitting the nail home until it drives home, and then we'll get it and we'll come aboard.
She's gonna hit that nail until he go nail something else.
Right, right. That's true. That's
That's
true.
what's gonna end up happening.
That's true.
I mean, I wouldn't want all the onus to fall upon the female, because while they nag, I mean, us as men, we have our ways of being annoying to women as well. I mean, I've seen many men can be cruel. You know, they can do the whole comparison thing, compare her to the next bitch, as they would say. I've been guilty of it, and it wasn't conscious. It wasn't something I was trying to do. But looking back at it, I can see how someone could take it as you're comparing me to the next person, and it makes them feel like, well, I'm not as good.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know.
true, and I think that's carryover from our past relationship. And we might not realize we haven't gotten over certain aspects of the relationship. So we'll continually refer to something that happened in our past relationship, and it'll manifest in our new relationship.
Yeah, we definitely can bring some luggage or baggage, as they say. We can bring that with us
Yeah.
and start unpacking it in a new relationship, and that more times than not, or throw the stats on the fly out there. 9 times out of 10,
Right,
that,
right,
that doesn't work. No one wants to be compared to anyone, whether it's good or bad.
right, right.
You know,
Exactly.
everyone wants to be unique, and they want to be the only person that you're even looking at, whether it be male or female. But sometimes the thing it may apply. I mean, you may have seen something in a past or previous relationship that was working, that you knew that dynamic worked in certain areas, and then in the current relationship that you're in, that you don't have that, and that's where things are breaking down. But you may not want to mention where you got it from. It's like, so who taught you that? And then don't you dare say the opposite sex of another person that taught you that, because now if it's a dude and the chick said it, and you like, oh, you can compare me to this another motherfucker,
Right, right.
or if it's a chick, or is a dude saying it, the chick is like, oh, you compare me to another bitch? Oh, hell no! And then they're gonna rebel.
Right, right.
They're going to rebel because I don't give a damn what it was in their last relationship. You're not going. I'm not going to be her. Or I'm not going to be him. So now, so now you're thinking about the other person now. Why don't you go be with them? They're going to throw that out real quick.
Yeah, and that's bad, and that's sad because you're automatically on the defense when you bring up in your past, and you're trying to defend yourself, and you kind of feel like you're not good enough for that person. That's why they keep comparing you to the other person. So
Yeah, so and when you start to think in those terms, then you start saying, well, what if I was with someone else? Now, in the day of social media, we have so many people posting their relationships and stuff online there, and we're seeing all these cheery and beautiful looking pictures and sceneries, and people are going places and they're smiling all the time, and we're looking at that like, oh, that must be nice.
right, right,
I want my relationship to be like that. I want to pose. I want to pose in front of a tree,
right, 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 right.
all type of crazy stuff, not knowing what that actual relationship entails that you're seeing. Could it be authentic? Could it be the good day that they took the picture, as opposed to the day before when they both were crying and yelling and screaming at each other?
Right, right. And that's where we get into one side playing that psychological warfare because they'll make you think, either the man or the woman, it goes both ways, they'll make you think that there's no one else out there for you. And for someone to tell you that, that's just like saying there's no other good women out there, which we know that's not true. And it takes time to find a good woman because when you drive a car, you might not like it. So you'll go back the next weekend, you'll test drive another car. Not saying that a woman is a car, but you kind of got to go through trial and error.
You said that.
You kind of got to go through trial and error, and when you got to take that time and dedication to find the right person that fits your mold and that you're compatible with. So I don't think you should let anyone just fool you into thinking that there's no one else for you.
Trying to kind of corner you in, box you in
trying
there.
to box you in and play that psychological warfare because it is. I don't think it's true. Now, if you have a good person, if you have a good man, you have a good woman with you, stick with them, make it work, go to counseling, do something that'll better your relationship, but don't fall into the trap of thinking that there's no one else for you.
Yeah, well, there are some people that you may feel are so bad. It's like no one could actually want you. Like who in their right mind is going to want that?
You
I'm dealing with you right now, but who else is going to want to deal with this crap that you're doing?
right. You remember the movie Color Purple when he said, Danny Glover said, "You're black, you're ugly. Someone may let you work on their railroad." He told Celia
Mm-hmm.
that, but that was just so demeaning,
Just beating
and
her down.
demonstrative of her, just beating her down because he knew she had no self-esteem. She relied on him for money, financial support. She relied on him for everything. And he took that time to just totally demoralize her. And somewhere she found the strength to finally leave. You know what I mean? And she needed some help, but the point is, don't let someone play the psychological
Mo-
part
and
on you.
and most people need help. I mean, because you can have some really controlling relationships where once you're in that relationship, it seems like your other peripheral relationships with friends, whether it be guys or girls that you have genuine friendships with, they start to cut those people out of your life. So then you don't have a support system. So now the only thing you're being fed is what they're saying.
Right. And you should have a third party, someone that's neutral, because if you're going to your girl asking her what's your opinion on, her man, she's going to support her girl, and she's not going to give her a thorough view, thorough view of what she really needs to hear.
Yeah, well,
So she needs a third party, and maybe that could be a counselor to tell her the truth.
and more than likely it probably would need to be a counselor because most of the time if you're talking to someone that's close to you, they're usually going to be team you. So even and they'll usually have your back even if you're the one that's wrong. I mean, you can be venting out what your issues are. They can see your issues, but the fact that you're mad at the partner, they're going to they're on your side and they're going to say that yeah, that person, yeah, you shouldn't be with them anymore when actually their friend is the one that's actually causing the issue.
It's
So,
very,
you have to be careful who you're talking to, who you're soliciting information from. It's like when people are coming to me, whether it be male or female, and we're talking about a relationship, and for me, I don't have any stake in that relationship. I'm listening. I'm purely listening to it from an A and B perspective. Person A, person B. My relationship to either one is not relevant at that point. I'm listening to the information that they're giving, and I'm analyzing the situation itself outside of me and outside of the tie that I have to a particular person. But and I've been fussed at. I've been fussed at when my friends say you're supposed to be on my side, and I said no. There's not a side. There's not a side in this. We're not talking about sides. We're talking about what's right in our opinion and what's wrong in our opinion.
right.
You know,
Right.
so I try to be as objective as possible in it. You know, and not a lot of people have that type of outlet in order to talk to someone who actually thinks more than just some regular surface level. Oh, okay. Well, he didn't take you out. She didn't cook for you. Oh, cancel him.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's not that simple. So some things we really have to care enough to dive into what's causing the issues, what's the root cause, if something can be done.
Yeah, yeah. And she might want your man, too. You ever thought about that?
Ooh. Yeah, now I've seen friends. That sucks. Yeah, and your friend could be doing the grass is green on the other side, and they can see that their friend has a man that they think is good, and their homegirl ain't treating them right, or the guy or the guy homeboy could be looking like, man, your chick bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Look, and you out here with me every day with other chicks.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man,
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna make sure she leave your ass,
Yeah,
cause I'm a swoop in on it.
it goes both ways. It goes both ways, brother.
They do, they
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
they
yeah,
do.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the grass is greener. You just gotta know when you got a good one and when you don't,
Hold on,
and when to
hold-
make a move.
Wait a minute. When you say which grass is greener?
Well, if you're in a relationship that's dysfunctional,
Uh huh.
it's not working,
Uh huh.
he's cheating, she's cheating, and he comes back and he's telling you you're not going to get anyone. No one wants you. You know, you're just not worthy of another person. I'm the only one for you. That's the time to look at your options and find the strength to leave that relationship.
Well, But it, no one is above fault, right?
But you know what? It's other things too that's involved in that. Maybe it's a financial obligation that's keeping them together. Maybe
Absolutely.
some people stay together for the kids. Who knows? I mean, maybe the woman is not working, and so she feels, obligated or scared to
No,
leave.
and look, and that's what I tell people
Yeah.
when it comes to marriage, because for women, I don't know, it's been ingrained in them that they have to be married by a certain time in life,
Right, right,
have a
right.
certain amount of kids and all that type of stuff. So then, as they are looking at people getting married and they're not married, they're thinking like, "What's wrong with me? Why hasn't anyone picked me up yet?" As if marriage is the goal and the prize, right? And I tell people, not necessarily. I mean, we have to realize that the divorce rate is roughly around 50%, and those are the people that actually went through with the divorce. Now think about the people that stayed married in that group. You break it down like you just said. Some of those people are in the marriage just for the kids. Some people are in their relationships simply because they don't want change. Some are scared to be on their own,
Right,
right?
right.
So I mean, there are so many different dynamics that keep them in the relationship, other than the fact that they love their partner.
That's very true. And you got to look at the generational factor as well, because most people that believe that, oh, I'm going to stay in here and I'm gonna work it out and I'm going to make it work no matter what, that comes from like an old school rearing kind of factor back in your mom and my mom's day, and even before that. No matter what happened, they stayed and they made it work.
That's the death do we
Even
part.
if someone bought them evidence and dropped it in front of them, it
No,
don't
yeah,
matter.
you bring the evidence to your friend, like,
Yeah,
oh, they messing up, they messing up right now,
yeah,
and then you turn on the friend.
exactly.
How dare you sabotage my happy thought in my head?
Exactly, exactly. And they're gonna stay there come hell or high water. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
the new generation is different. I mean, women are working, they're making more money, they're more vocal, and they have a say at the table
definitely
now.
more vocal.
And they're quick to be like, this ain't for me. I'm out. You know what I mean? So,
And there's nothing for me. There's nothing wrong with that. So many people frown upon someone who actually who gets married and then decides to go through a divorce as if it's failure, or you've done something wrong. And I say, if you started the relationship with someone and didn't know that person wasn't a good match for you at the time, are you obligated to stay with the mistake you made? Or are you given the freedom to choose a better partner so that the life you do live moving forward is one that's more conducive to what you want in the future?
right. There's so many ways you can go with that, because I mean, like, you can look at the ratio of men to women and what's available out there. You know what I mean? So when you think you get a good one, you kind of want to do everything you can to make it work. But then you got to be real realist and be like, this is not, you shouldn't suffer. No one should have to suffer living with someone, coming home, or don't want to come home.
And how many times you heard that people are killing time just not to have to go home? Like, that's supposed to be your refuge, your safe space, and you try not
Yeah,
to be there.
that is a miserable existence. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in that. So I would rather be by
Look,
myself.
look, and then you have the friends that are single and say, you need to go and leave her, you need to leave him, and then what's their response? Oh, you ain't got nobody. That's why you talking.
Yeah, yeah, I know,
I'm
right?
like, I don't want nobody like that.
Desperation.
That's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, don't never be desperate, man. Sometimes it takes time, but wait, patience is a virtue. But he'll eventually come along, or she'll eventually come
Hope we're hoping so, or maybe you live a miserable life as a hermit by yourself with 45 cats
along. I know, right?
and a dog just to kind of keep the order. You never know. But yeah, and I tell people that there is someone or some people for everyone. It doesn't matter how good you are or how bad you are. There's someone that likes it.
Oh yeah,
There
yeah,
is.
yeah, and yeah, you can't fall into the mold of thinking that there's not, because your partner will tell you there's nobody else for you. But there is. It's either go out there, take your time, and find that person, or get to know yourself. Take the year or two and get to know
Hey,
yourself.
that's one of the hardest things I've seen for many of us. Just getting to know who you are. What do you like? What don't you like? Where are you at in your life as far as your own personal development and what you can offer to another person?
Correct.
So many people are out there trying to find partners, and they're finding a partner that may ultimately not be the person that matches them. Because, and that's what, when I speak about people who get married early, who latch on to a partner early in life, I say that, I mean, that's a heck of a trial run, because when at a young age, there are only a few of us who actually get to know who they are really early. The majority of people don't know. I mean, they're developing into the person they're going to be, and that's why you have some. I tell people, when you're in a relationship, you can either go one of three directions. You can get closer together, you can move along just alongside each other, or you can grow apart. One of the three. So as you start to get older, you owe it to yourself to find out who you are, so that when you do find a partner, you can find someone more suited to the person that you're growing into, or the person that you have now become.
That's very true.
You know.
And those relationships, when you get married early, time is the big factor. Because if you get married at 19, 20 years old, you really haven't lived at all.
You haven't experienced much of anything.
And so by the time you get 25 and you realize who you're with, and you realize you haven't done certain things, and your husband is doing certain things, and your wife is doing certain things, you kind of you get into you're obligated. You're obligated because you made that bond and you got married.
Mm-hmm.
But what have you done at 19, 20 years old, that you didn't fulfill?
As far as growing in life.
Yeah, it's growing in life, life experiences. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and so it's like when we are looking at those pictures on Facebook, and you see these couples, they're going out, they're taking trips over here, they're going out to eat dinner over here, and the last time you went out, you went to the zoo in town, and y'all went over to Steak and Shake to have dinner. So that was your getting out. So and then you look at these other people, and you're like, I want to do that.
Right.
I want to do that. And then when you ask your partner, hey, can we do something fun? And they're like, feel like it.
He's gotten comfortable with the lazy boy
And
already.
and now you're starting to think there's got to be something else out there.
Right, exactly. And you're looking at a fruitful relationship versus a dead relationship. You know what I mean? And you kind of, and Facebook has brought that to bear, and for everyone to see. It's so transparent, and it's kind of like.
But is it real?
And it's keeping up with the Joneses. No, I don't think all of it is real, because I've got friends right now who I know have problems,
Mm-hmm.
but they'll post these lovable Facebook pictures of them on the islands, doing things.
Absolutely.
having
Life
drinks.
is beautiful.
Yeah, life is
This
beautiful.
is great right now.
Yeah. So it's a fake
At the moment.
Yeah, it's a fake portrayal of what's really happening behind closed
But
doors.
who wants to post a picture of the black eye? Who wants to post a picture of the frowns and the dirty house that you can't stand when you get home? Who's going to post that?
No, you know what? Nobody wants to do that. However, we should have some transparency when it comes to that, because you just brought up domestic violence.
If we're going to
Yeah.
share,
Yeah, because people need to be aware of domestic violence. If you're being abused at all,
Mhm.
you need to have some transparency, and you most definitely need to report it, because I don't advocate nobody being in an abusive relationship.
of any kind, or are you just saying physical?
Well, you brought up the black eye, so I was assuming it was a physical.
Okay, okay,
so-
physical. I mean,
Even if it's psychological, verbal could be just as bad as physical.
but don't those have levels to them? Because not everyone responds to verbiage the same way as someone else. I mean, you can talk to someone else, give them straight talk, and actually be aggressive in your talk, and they don't take it as abuse at all. It's just a way of communicating,
Well,
and some
yeah.
people can't take that.
I agree. It depends on the barrage that you throw at them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people can hit below the belt, and those below the belt shots last years.
What's considered a below the belt shot? Can truth be below the belt?
Well,
Because you can have somebody, you can hurt someone's feelings with the truth.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
You can destroy somebody with the truth if they ain't ready for
But
it.
really, when you're in a heavyweight fight, you're trying to get the edge, and sometimes the truth, you don't need the truth. You can go dirty and say stuff that's not even true and
Right.
hurt the person
Very true.
psychologically for a long time. And you know what they always say? You can't never take it back once you say it.
You can't because they internalize that.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
They'll never forget it, even when you get on good terms.
Yeah, and you can say 100 good things, but you give them one bad thing, that actually starts to take precedence.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, you can't say enough good stuff because now they doubt you. And sometimes I wonder if when you do say that negative thing, what is the person that you're saying it to? How are they internalizing it? Is it something that rings true to them? Because like for me, if someone says something negative about me, I know if it's true or not, and I have the ability to just shoo it aside.
Right.
Now, if it's some that I hold on to that I know to be true, but with myself personally, I won't. It wouldn't bother me as much, especially if it's true.
Right.
It's
Right.
like you. I mean, it is what it is. It's maybe something I have to address.
Well, it
But
hurts
most
more
people,
than
but most people is about that internal conversation they're having with themselves, not what you're saying to them. I mean, you can tell a woman that you're beautiful. Oh, I love you. I mean, you're the best thing ever. But inside of them, if they don't feel that, that kind of just kind of hits the wall and kind of falls off.
Right, right, right. If it's coming, it depends on the context in which the truth is coming out towards you. If it's in a heated argument, it might not be the perfect time to say the truth because you're just saying it to hurt the person. Maybe you tell the truth when everything is civil.
But that
Pull them
sucks.
to the side.
That
it's
sucks
civil,
though.
and you be like, baby, you know what? You ain't working.
Hey, I'm mad at you, and I'm about to tell
Yeah,
you the
you
truth.
ain't paying the bills.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not paying the bills. But if it come out in an argument, and she comes out and call you a broke MF, that kind of hurts a little more and it stings a little more. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So it depends on the context in which they unleash that verbal barrage on you. You know what I mean?
I understand. I understand.
So and we all, we've all said things to people in relationships that are hurtful when we get upset because we kind of lose our mental balance and we start saying things that
It
are
gets
hurtful.
emotional. When you
Yeah,
get emotional,
it
then
gets emotional.
you want to lash back out.
And then 3 weeks later, when everything's back on good footing, you'll realize that it'll regurgitate itself because she'll tell you like, "Oh, I remember what you said." And she'll bring it up in a certain way.
Hey, look,
She'll bring it-
everything's smooth, and you're eating dinner. Like, hey, baby, this is good.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Remember, I can't cook.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember?
Exactly. And it always regurgitated. It always come back up.
You're like,
with
you
that.
weren't even trying to go back there anymore, but
Yeah.
you've already laid that groundwork already for it.
Yeah, it'll always rehash itself. It never goes away. So you gotta be careful what you say in your relationships. You always gotta keep it cordial. And I got this saying that I'm gonna always be a better person when I get in an argument. I'm gonna be better. So whenever we get, no matter what you say to me, you can call me anything you want to. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. I'm not gonna jump in that hole. I'm not gonna wallow in that pessimistic.
You're not gonna let it be. You're not gonna let it be two of them.
No, exactly. Because I know I'm not that person.
Right.
And I know someone is dragging me down in the mud, and I'm not gonna wallow in that pessimistic mind frame.
You don't want to match that energy.
Exactly.
Not that energy.
Exactly. No, it's an energy drainer.
But what if you're losing? What if you're losing the argument really bad? Like at what point is it self-defense? I gotta say something to get myself back on even footing here. Especially if you got something good too. You got something
Well,
good.
if you have to resort to low blows, sometimes just go ahead and just take a loss.
Take the loss.
Sometimes you gotta take a loss because if I gotta go low, I mean, it's not making me any better, and it's not making my relationship.
But you
any
get
better.
but you might get to win the fight though.
It's not all about the win.
Man, listen.
Because we're all on the same team at the end of the day.
Nope, we gotta win. we just started fighting. Somebody gotta win.
Somebody gotta win.
Yeah, because I can't keep taking these losses.
Well, if that's the case, most of the time the woman usually wins.
They do.
Because we're not built to keep going.
'Cause
We're not built to keep going verbally.
Men's egos are fragile.
Yeah, we can't
Oh
go. Yeah,
man, you just said the wrong thing.
They'll outlast us every time.
You say you say something about our man below, and we like,
Uh-oh.
clutch the pearls.
Yeah.
My God,
Exactly.
I got to shoot her.
No.
I got to do something. Where's she got a friend that looks good or something? I got to get her back.
Just FYI, I don't condone shooting or violence. TJ doesn't condone shooting or violence.
Neither do I. I'm just telling you what some people think in their minds. When they're losing that fight, they start grasping for anything.
And that's the sad part. I mean, we just go low, and that's the sign that the relationship is over. You need to go that low.
Or it needs repair. I mean, because every relationship is going to have some downs where things aren't going right. You can't say because
So,
things not going right. That's time to go.
so if you really think a woman told you you had a small John,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna stick with you forever.
No, it's not because
It's gonna stick with you forever.
it has to resonate as true for me. And hold on. And the fact of the matter, if it is true, the only thing that I can say is, for me, there are thousands of people it's just
Wait a
right
minute.
for.
Wait, you think it's true for you, but she might not think it's true.
No, I mean, if she's lying or if she's telling the truth.
Hey, but that's what I'm saying. If it's true for you, but it's false for her, that's gonna ring with you for a while. Yeah, that's why I think that the relationship might not need to, might not
Well,
cannot be repaired
well, you
without
also
some some mad psychological
right, but yeah,
professional
and
help.
you got to figure out what was the cause for the feeling that made her lash out in that manner.
What'd you do?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What'd you
Like
do?
what? Yeah, what did I do, or what did she make? Sometimes when someone's upset with you, sometimes it's not even about you. Sometimes they're bringing in something else, and you just happen to be the person that was in the line of fire for it.
Yeah, yeah.
At some point you do analyze. Okay, what did I do? I mean, and many people in bad relationships they tend to do that. I hear it in women all the time. What did I do wrong? And it could have been something they hadn't done anything wrong.
Right.
The man was going through some things and didn't know how to handle it, so he lashed out at the woman because she's the closest thing to him.
Correct. And I agree. And I agree. And then that's the time where the man has to be stronger or the woman has to be stronger because at that time he's not in his mindset. She's not in her right mindset. Let's just de-escalate it. Bring it down before someone says something that's hurtful to the other.
That takes at least one person with a cooler head.
And if you two really love each other, you just shouldn't go there. I mean, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Just take it, walk away, go have a beer, come back later.
That sounds very rational.
But it doesn't happen.
Most of the time, I mean, we're emotional creatures. You know, and once especially when you say you love someone and you're deeply in love with someone, that's a strong emotion. So that emotion in itself can elicit a whole lot of other strong emotions. So you can have that one extreme where you're just on cloud nine with love, and then you can be just down in the dirt with the hatred or the contentment that you feel, and it's a roller coaster for some people. It's tough even for a mentally stable person. Just imagine for someone who's going through mental issues.
So exactly. But when does that become a health issue? If you've been married for 10, 15 years and you've been having these fights on and off, how much can a person take up that psychologically before it's time to
Part ways?
Go up the flag? You know what I mean? So, what does it take? I mean,
And people a lot of people like to keep their issues in house, and I would say that can be a problem because a lot of us aren't equipped to be able to deal with the issues that we are having, which is the reason why it goes on for extended period of time because we're not equipped to fix it. So keeping it in house only keeps you with the problem by yourself that you can't fix. So you don't want to broadcast your issues, but you want to be able to make sure you have a safe space where that you can let someone know, so that if you're taking advice or hearing things, it's coming from somewhere where they're not thinking the way you think, because you can't get anything from someone who's thinking the same thing you think.
exactly.
You're in the same situation.
Yeah, it has to come from a reliable, credible source that's neutral to both him and her.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's reading,
Exactly.
you can go read some books. Try to get some help. If you have insurance, I mean, check into into your psychological or whatever kind of coverage you have. If you can get counseling or something that goes along with your coverage.
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay. Yeah, there's an ad for Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I have United Healthcare.
Brother, I have the same thing. But you definitely need help. You definitely need to reach outside of your own devices because, again, if you were equipped and prepared to deal with it, then you that situation wouldn't be going on as long as it is, you know. But I always would advise someone to go seek some professional help, or if you're fortunate enough to have a circle of people in your life that you consider wise, that you do respect how they think and what they have to say, let someone know. Don't sit in there and suffer and living a life where 85% of it is bad and you just want to hang on to that 15% of good, and that's what you think. You know, that you're going through the storm waiting to get on the other side of it so you can live in the good times. That's not how it should be. The majority of your existence with another person in a relationship should be a good time, because if you're compatible, you don't go through those type of issues. If there's a problem, you're going through the problem together, and it's something you both are trying to work your way through. But the inverted, it just doesn't work. You can't stay miserable waiting for the good time. You can't.
No, you can't.
It drains you.
It does, and you have to have some kind of stability, and you don't want to live a miserable existence with anybody. And so, take care of yourself, take care of your family. Your kids don't want to be in a miserable relationship. Your relatives don't want to see you in a miserable relationship, because they know when you come around, they can see it. They can see the unhappiness on your face.
Mm-hmm.
They know he's not no good. They know she might not be any good. So, you have to make a decision. And the decision is a hard decision, but it has to be made.
Absolutely. And one thing I do when I notice, when you're not in the situation, that decision is so clear. It's crystal clear. The moment you get into it and the emotions get involved and you start getting attached to it, then it starts to cloud it.
Right.
You might even know what the right decision is, but it's harder to make because there's such an emotional bond that's there.
Right.
That has to be broken.
Right. You got to be strong.
You know.
You got to be strong, man. You got to be strong and make that decision, and it'll be for the self-betterment of yourself.
Like I said, and everyone may not be strong. You may not personally be a strong person. That's why you reach out and you get help, because you do have people that can help support you, to help you through some difficult decisions that you have to make.
Yep. You got to know that through the darkness, on the other side of that door is sunlight and daylight, and some people can't see past the darkness. They have to be able to know that it's sunlight and happiness on the other side, whether it's with another person or alone. You know what I mean?
So you saying so the grass is greener on the other side?
I believe so. I believe the grass is greener. I'm not going to let anyone ever tell me different. This is a big world, man.
So you heard what he said. You heard what he said. He said the grass is greener on the other side. So all you that are in happy relationships, just know it's something better on the other side. He just said that shit. You heard him.
No. Let me recategorize what I'm saying.
I'll just make sure I brought to your light what you just said at your mouth.
If you're in a bad relationship, the grass is greener on the other side.
There is something better.
If you're in a great relationship that's exceeding your expectations,
And maybe just meeting it.
stay there and water your grass. Fertilize your grass. Do what it takes to cut out all the weeds.
You say continue to do what you did to get him?
Yeah, do the things that you did in the beginning of the relationship that brought you together.
Okay.
And do those same things during the relationship to keep you together. So if you're in a happy relationship, stay in it. You don't need any more grass. Water that grass. Make it grow. Make it look pretty.
Play in it.
But if you're in a bad relationship and it's not working, the grass is greener on the other side. Let me be clear. If you're in a bad relationship and your husband is abusing you,
Or your
wife is abusing you, you're being verbally
Or they're
abused,
just not meeting your needs.
they're not meeting your needs, the grass is greener on the other side. It's a big world out there. It may take you some time. You might have to go through 3 guys. You might have to go through 3 women. But you eventually get to the person
I needed a
that
multiplier.
you can be with. You're going to eventually get there.
Can I get like a power of 4?
Oh, exactly.
Power of 5?
You get a power of 5, You get 3 free
It takes
rolls,
We got to figure this out.
Exactly.
I'm not a quitter.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Hey, that was some good stuff, man. That was good stuff. You guys have been listening to What Does Zoe Know? Here with my guest TJ, and we were talking about is the grass greener on the other side. Hey, I appreciate the conversation, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks
Good
for
stuff.
having me, man. I enjoyed being here talking about it, and I'm just happy to see the response.
This is good stuff. Yeah, we look forward to your comments. So I want to see what you have to say. So like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, this has been What Does Zoe Know? Hey.